Welcome in to the Paydirt Profile podcast. This is Dante, recording on Wednesday, March 18th. This is part 2 of our free agency review. You can find us as always on sounder.fm, and newly you can find us on Apple Podcast. You can reach us any of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Paydirt Profile. And you can also have discussions and debates with us at the Facebook group, the Paydirt Profile Podcast. Without further ado, please join myself, Kyle, Tony, and Jamar on episode 6. All right. Well, what about the other big trade that we had? We had Stephon Diggs get traded to the Buffalo Bills for a bunch of picks, starting with the first. The Vikings could probably fill that role with a myriad of different receivers. There are plenty of dudes that should be available, later in that first round and later on in the draft. I could see a guy like Justin Jefferson being a very good fill-in for him.
Don't overdraft.
But yeah, like you figure out what's best for your team. I had somebody mentioned, in our group that the last time they made a big-time move, they had traded Percy Harvin. They had that same draft. They got Rhodes, Floyd, and Cordell Patterson. And some of those players worked out for them and some of them didn't, but they were able to do some good things. Like, Tony, how are you feeling about the move and prospects going forward?
Well, I mean, part of my heart is always going to love Stephon Diggs for the Minneapolis Miracle. I can never hate that guy. But at the same time, I'm not sad that he's gone either. I mean, he's a good wide receiver, but him and Adam Thielen, they're kind of the same dude. They're kind of they have. I mean, they use them differently, obviously, but they have the ability to do the same thing. And so if you use it to go get, I mean, that was my biggest thing when we got rid of Diggs was okay, now we have a Kirk Cousins who. I mean, yes, we're a run-first offense right now, but we have a Kirk Cousins who is there to throw the ball and complete passes accurately, and we have a receiver. That was the whole drama of our team last year, is that they couldn't find a bench warmer guy to step up. Coach challenged all the receivers and said, y'all suck. Somebody step up and play ball. And no one did. And so now we have one guy who had a 6-month-long hamstring injury, and, who knows how he's going to be able to maintain that through the season. I mean, I hope he does, but, I'm really not... I have faith that something will happen. We don't have a good record of drafting receivers, though. If you look at Laquan Treadwell, Cordell Patterson, we don't have... If we use that first-round pick on a receiver, it just never works out for us, or even a high pick. So I'm a little hesitant there. We kind of have the Bill Belichick mentality where somehow we find this kid from Mankato State that does really well that no one's ever heard of and came from the Minnesota only tryout. And so I'm a little worried there, but I think, like I said, we're a run first offense right now. That's what coach wants, and they're gonna stay on that game, and hopefully they can get somebody in and fill that hole, because it's a big hole right now. But as far as Diggs being that guy, I'm not too worried about it.
What are your thoughts, Jamar?
I mean, Tony, you know a lot more about your Vikings than I do, but I just hope that your team is able to use those picks to pick up someone who can truly help your offense out.
Because it was a first, a fifth, and a sixth, or a fourth and a fifth.
Oh, it was more than that.
That's a lot of picks.
Pick, right?
Yeah, it was
22.
So you're gonna probably find someone depending on what style play you want. Brandon Ayuk is going to be there. The top 3 guys won't be there. You could see a guy like Jalen Reagor kind of pop up. He would actually fit well, I think, with Thielen. I think the one thing that, like you said, that their mentality has become run first defense. Irv Smith started getting a lot more playing time late in last season. Rudolph's there. They re-signed C.J. Ham. and then you got the 2 running backs, Cook and Madison.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you may only need one guy out there.
Right.
And I do think Diggs is not quite the personality that fit with those guys.
Yeah.
They don't really have a guy like that on the team, and I don't think you want to on an offense like that.
Yeah.
And I think he was getting a little full of himself. He had been good. He threw up some stats when they were bad, but when they were good, they were running the ball, and I don't think he liked that. And as receivers, you don't like that because you want to be the guy, but the receivers don't really matter. And he had become more a distraction than anything, I thought, especially the last year and a half.
Well, I mean, the last game that they played, I mean, they were playing, a couple of games. They played against the Saints, and they were winning a game that they had no business winning, and their team was playing well, and he was visibly throwing tantrums on the sideline.
Right.
Like, his team is moving the ball, they're being successful, and it's one thing when you want to help your team, and every player does. Every player wants the ball because, number one, you might want the shine. Number two, you might want the glory or the respect or whatever, but you ultimately want to help your team. And if you're not winning, that's usually when you see people upset because I could have helped my team if you just would have given me the ball or given me the opportunity. They were winning, right, and he was still throwing tantrums. So like you said, he might not have been a great fit there anymore. I don't know, being at the Bills, if that's going to help him at all because they spread the ball around a lot, and it seemed like they had a good dynamic there.
Well, he will be. He'll be like the Yao Ming there. He is 6 foot. They finally got someone over 6 foot on that, and he's listed as 6 foot. So
yeah.
That's questionable.
Yeah.
5'10",
they got it listed there.
But I think to the Bills' perspective, I think. I mean, he's like anybody. Like any wide receiver wants the ball, and I think spreading the ball around gives him more opportunity. In the Vikings offense, he was hey man, we need you to do 2 big plays, and that's it. Like
right.
when we're down in the fourth quarter, we need you to run this 40-yard slant over the middle and catch it. Like it's gonna be in your hands, it's gonna be on your hands, but that's it. That's all we need is that those 2 plays from you. So it's yeah, I think he'll be happier in Buffalo because they do spread the ball around more, and they do want to get it in everybody's hands all the time, and that's what he needs. That's what his personality needs, and I think you're right. He definitely doesn't. That me mentality, get me the ball, isn't really a Minnesota Vikings currently mentality.
Right, and Zimmer did a good job, I think, of building that. And maybe I'm mistaken, but I think he did kind of go after Cousins sometimes in post-game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're going to have 2 guys who are the same, you're going to have to pay 2 guys. Get rid of the guy that, 1, who's going to do that. 2, I think Cousins likes Thielen more anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sure.
It's a clear, of the 2, it was the easy move.
Yeah.
So, and I think the Bills maybe think this is their time now. But Tom Brady's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing for me is, like, Hopkins versus Diggs, like, they gave up David Johnson in Arizona for Hopkins, like, and Buffalo gave up, to get it back onto this Bill O'Brien thing, a topic that we just keep on like touching and then avoiding. But man, the Vikings, if you look at that and compare Diggs and Hopkins, the Vikings took in a haul for the receiver that it is.
You don't even have to take on a David Johnson contract.
Yeah.
Well, they got a 5th, a 6th, and a 4th next year on top of that first-round pick.
Yeah, so they got 22.
Depth.
Yeah,
22, a 5th, 22nd pick in the draft, a 5th, a 6th, and a 4th next year. Like, that's solid. The 5th is what we gave up for that kicker.
What do you think you could package that 21st, 22nd, whatever it's going to be from the Bills, maybe a 2nd, get up to the mid-range and get someone like Henry Ruggs?
I think that's my guess is where they're headed
He
with it.
would fit that offense really well.
Yeah, because Diggs was more of a vertical threat than anything. I mean,
right.
he could win with route running and smarts and run after the catch, but his downfield ability was what really unlocked the offense.
Then you let Thielen work the mid range, and you kind of Irv Smith, Rudolph underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Irv Smith actually he can play in the slot too,
Yeah.
but just be able to have that element of going deep.
Right.
And don't forget about that 4th round pick next year. Like 4th round picks are pretty valuable and coveted.
Here's the dogs.
Welcome to
Here
the
the dogs.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to find all your stuff.
Hazel, go.
Out.
That's my dogs.
4th round picks are valuable in when it comes to trading drafts. So you trade that 22 and 2 4th rounders or something. This year's 4th round and the 4th round you got from next year, and move up to get the guy that you want. Move up into that whatever 12 position that you need to get to, and take that big name wide receiver.
Right.
I think that's a smart move, a smart call. As long as Ruggs, Vikings history, Ruggs is going to be a dud, but let's hope not.
Or you just wait and there's guys going to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I still miss. And I think every team in the NFL missed on DK. I wish we had DK we picked him up in the draft last year, because DK with like a Thielen and that and a quarterback that can put. Kirk Cousins can put the ball exactly where your hands are going to be. Mm-hmm. So if Kirk Cousins is like, yo, I'm going to throw it 8 feet 3 inches in the air. This is the only dude in the league that can go get it. Mm-hmm. And man, that would have been nice.
Yeah, his college tape was limited, but clearly there was talent there, and there is talent there. The way he played in the playoffs.
But I don't think saying that we all missed on DK is accurate. I think people understood how he could win. I mean, you're going to be able to go down the field vertically. You're going to be able to challenge in the red zone. If we're going to give you the ball, run after catch, you're going to be a freight train. I think that people just overlooked him a little bit, because we need you to do 8 things as a receiver, and you can only do 3 things well. And the Seahawks just said, okay, cool, those 3 things, we're just going to only have you do those 3.
Right.
And then we'll get you to do 4, and then next year we'll get you to do 5, and then by year 3 or 4, maybe you can do 6 or 7 things. But those 3 things that you can do better than most players in the league. We can live with that in year 1.
It's a quality franchise doing something. Hey, we're just not going to do too much with you.
Yeah.
They have the ultimate guy at quarterback who can erase mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to carry you most of the way. And like you said, we need you to do a couple of things.
Yeah.
Run fast, go deep, and
Let Tyler Lockett do everything else.
Tyler Lockett.
Let's go.
Tyler Lockett
Jamar's
fan
boy.
club right
Tyler
here.
Lockett's my boy.
The leader.
But I think you're you keep talking about the franchises that do good things well consistently, and I think any franchise that would have taken DK and put him in the same role, like if you had the franchise, like the Browns would have made him a number 1 receiver, and he would have flopped and been awful, So
Well, when you have margin for error on stuff like that, you have time.
Mm-hmm.
It took him 15 weeks.
yeah,
He wasn't dominating the league
Week
everyone's
1.
going to remember listening to this all. He killed I don't even know, the Packers. Was it the Packers?
Yeah.
He
The
killed the
Packers.
Packers for 150.
Yeah.
But he wasn't that same player week 1.
No.
Yeah.
Week 10.
Mm-mm.
Maybe he was getting there.
And
Yeah.
year 3, it's gonna be as long as he stays healthy.
As he stays
Right.
healthy and is able to continue to improve.
Yeah.
Add something every year, just like you would expect from all
Yeah.
the NFL players, professional athletes, really.
Right. All right. Well, we are wrapping up here shortly, but we want to take a look really quick at some of the remaining players. So we're going to do like a little rapid fire segment. So we'll go position by position. Right now, best available, Jameis Winston, Josh McCown, Blaine Gabbert, and Blake Bortles. All 4 of those guys are all backup
One
guys.
should be on a team.
Yeah, like
One.
one of those guys should be a starter, and the other 3 should all be backups. Real quick, one word. Where does Jameis Winston play?
a backup somewhere.
Jamar, where's Jameis Winston playing?
Jameis Winston
Say it.
Say it. You know it's coming.
No, it's not happening. Don't put that trash on my.
They had Jameis.
Don't put that trash on. Yeah, we got
older
Jameis.
Jameis.
We got older baby Jameis.
What a better backup to Tyrod Taylor than Jameis Winston.
Oh, don't bring this negativity in the universe.
How about
All right, put a different team then.
Cam Newton?
Put him on. I don't care any other team. Put him on the Dolphins. I don't care.
All right, Kyle, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston to the Patriots.
Ooh,
I
that was
don't
a
think
good
he's
one.
precision enough to play for them. But
Yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
need someone at some point.
Yeah, you took mine. I was gonna go Patriots, so sorry, Jamar. I'll go Chargers.
Yeah. What kind of breakup is this going to be if Tom Brady wins this?
Oh man.
The GOAT. The real GOAT.
Oh man. If he actually makes them a quality team.
You think Bill Belichick's going down with Jared Stidham after the breakup?
No.
Hey, he's got 4 years to get ready. Like, no. He's bringing someone in.
I heard somebody say, I think it was the Draft Dudes podcast.
Hey, he's better than Stidham.
He's gonna end with Jameis.
No, he's better than Stidham.
But how much would that be a stick it to you for Tom Brady to leave, him go to the Bucks, Bruce Arians being like, okay, I got my guy, and then Bill Belichick saying like, okay, I'll take your guy and be better than you with your own guy.
Just straight swap quarterback.
Hey, hey, Jameis has got new eyes now, so.
He still has the same brain.
That's true. Okay, running backs. We have Melvin Gordon still left, Devontae Freeman still left, Carlos Hyde, Lamar Miller, LaShawn McCoy. Tony, where's Melvin Gordon going?
Melvin Gordon. Do you think Cincinnati could make a move at him?
Even with Joe Mixon?
Yeah.
But still.
But Joe's been hurt. Joe's been...
You know where I thought he might have ended up before Bill O'Brien was Bill O'Brien? Houston would have been a nice fit.
I think it would have worked out for him. What they want to do at the running back
They need
position.
a good back who can be versatile.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How about the Bucks?
I thought that they might have tried to trade for him last year. If I figured Melvin Gordon and David Johnson were both Bucks trade candidates, so that's a pretty solid one. What about you, Jamar?
Bruh, I can't. I have no idea where this school would go. I'll have my own quarrels about freaking Melvin Gordon.
I gotta put the explicit tag on the podcast.
Or just bleep that. I don't know, man.
Who's in Kansas City right now?
Damian Williams.
But they're not sold on him. I don't think he was good.
I don't know if they have the cap space to sign Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, he's looking for a payday too, huh?
Yeah.
What's going on with them Steelers? What about your boy?
Yeah.
James Conner, be healthy? If he's not healthy,
I don't think that he's going to be too good of a player that they wouldn't consider Melvin Gordon, but with the money that I think that they're asking of him, James Conner is going to come up for a contract very soon, and I don't think that the story that James Conner is and the kind of player and how hard he works that you're going to let him walk and pay Melvin Gordon.
After some of the other stuff they've gone through last couple years.
Yeah, and Melvin Gordon has had the same type of injury issues that James Conner has. I would assume that they would probably bring in a different type of player, maybe draft a running back.
How about the Lions?
That's fair. I mean, they said that
they like carry on, but
he said himself that he's not like a every down type of back. So if you want to share with him, have carry on and Melvin be the tandem that you kind of saw with Patriots teams and other teams past, I think that kind of works. Okay, we have receivers. We have Nelson Aguilar, Robbie Anderson, Devin Fuentes, Emmanuel Sanders. So any one of those guys, Tony, where do you think they're going to go?
I could see maybe Robbie ending up in Minnesota.
Oh, that would be a really good fit. If they had some room in there, he would be really nice with that offense.
He definitely seems like a guy
he fits that role really well.
Yeah, he's exactly what that role needs to be. He fits that opposite of Thielen. We still need that, number 3, but like Kyle said, like we're not going to be running 3 wide receiver sets all the time. We really kind of only need 1 or 2 receivers out there for a majority of our plays that we're going to be running in that run-first offense. So I think that would be an interesting move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of have a proven guy. You don't need to risk it on the draft. Like, yeah, he's not the best, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd give him some money.
Yeah.
Any of those names stand out to you, Jamar? Aguilar, Robbie Anderson, Emmanuel Sanders.
I'd be selfish and say put Emmanuel Sanders on the Chargers.
Oh, he is underrated.
Yeah.
Put him on the
He is
Chargers
super underrated.
immediately.
Hey,
He is very good.
that would if the Chargers really wanted to go head over heels into this like we're gonna win now kind of thing, could you see them trading for like Cam Newton and signing Emmanuel Sanders and just being like our defense is gonna be better than you and our offense is gonna be better than you?
Bringing in
Yeah.
Laga or whatever to
Yeah.
help
They
out
did.
on
They
that
did
line.
beef the
Yeah.
O-line up. They are better on the O-line. How
Right.
good?
I mean,
Yeah.
they got
Trey
pieces, and they're making moves, but they lost. I mean, Phillip,
Right.
but they still lost their quarterback. So it's like you got everything else around you now, but you lost Phillip. So it's
Right.
like, and you didn't make a move for Brady,
Yeah.
at least a strong enough move for Brady, and you didn't make a move for any other quarterback. So now it's like you made all these moves, like except we need one more,
Right.
and we got a real shot. But now
Right.
it's like I don't know.
Do you think Eckler's the guy to carry that? I know they really liked him last year, but do you think he's the guy to?
He's good. I mean, he's great, and everyone loves him on fantasy. I don't think he's that guy. Like they're not going to run him into the ground. I mean, he's a great, skillful player. I just don't see him being the guy, and
They could use one of those backs.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know about Lamar
Bring
Miller.
back Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
that shit's
Probably.
out. But
What about
How about what's some of those names you said? Receiver.
Funches.
So Devin
bro.
Funches,
Devin
Geronimo
Funches.
Allison,
No.
Travis Benjamin's gonna keep stealing money from franchises.
I'm fat. Sorry.
Taylor Gabriel's gonna keep stealing money from franchises. Rashad Perriman.
Does Taylor Gabriel fit in Philly?
No, I think Brashad Perriman's more Philly. I like his speed. They need speed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust Deshaun Jackson.
And they don't have the capital to get up to Henry Ruggs.
No.
People have wanted that to happen, and it's like Henry Ruggs. You're not going to make Henry Ruggs to the Eagles happen. Like it's.
Perriman, he made some money last year.
Mm-hmm.
Sign Perriman, play with those 2 tight ends, get someone skillful underneath, which would be, you got some guys already who are all right.
They'd have to draft somebody because they have vertical, Alshon Jeffrey and Alshon Jeffrey Light in J.J. Whiteside. They're the same player. Yeah, he's very overrated.
But at least Perriman would open the offense up.
Right.
And then any of those running backs, probably you could see them in Philly.
Yeah.
They love running backs there.
Well, I want to come back to this, but I forgot. I saw some article about how Anthony Lynn was talking about how Tyrod was like super underrated and like he's the guy.
Yeah.
If he goes through, which it seems like it's going to happen with Tyrod, is his job on the line?
You gotta be, right?
His job's on the line.
You have to be. I know
Are
they
you about to
extended
go
him.
in with it with Tyrod Taylor?
But I don't know. So if you look at quarterback or quarterback and coach combinations, and that quarterback leaves, I think that coach usually gets a little bit of a grace period. Wouldn't you not? Like you're looking at a team that's been solid, and Phillip Rivers has, I don't want to say single-handedly because it's a team game, but like almost single-handedly tanked seasons. So now he has Tyrod Taylor. If Tyrod Taylor is his guy and he endorses him and he crashes and burns, which I don't think that that's going to happen. He's not that player. But if he does, I think you're right. I think that they can look at that and be like, hey, if we wanted to get out, this is an easy reason to get out from under him.
He's putting his name behind the move, right?
But
unless they go, hey, we're going to draft the young guy.
And that's it.
You have to give. But last time we saw Tyrod play full seasons, he was really good at Buffalo.
Right.
He carried that team without making mistakes. And if that's what they want, he's the guy.
Yeah, but I think you hit the nail on the head, and it was a point I was going to make is that if they draft a quarterback, I think all bets are off because when you draft that quarterback, you're assuming that you're going to need that time built in anyway. So. Yeah. I think it's a huge point and huge thing to look out though is that if he does give that endorsement and Tyrod crashes and burns, like
then he's on
the hot
him and the
seat.
Quarterback are going to be together.
Yeah.
If they fail, then he's gone for sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. Tight end free agent class is kind of dried up. We had Austin Hooper as the main guy. Jimmy Graham got picked up by. Yeah, I know.
Jimmy Graham can't walk, bro. He literally.
No, Jason Witten can.
No,
but my God.
Jimmy Graham, he's hard. He's so hard to watch play football these days.
Yes.
The guy's so big, and like he's not that old. I know. We'll talk about Jason Witten. He's old.
Yeah.
He's the guy who could fall on the ground after every catch. Jimmy Graham has never broken a tackle. He's never broken a tackle. His claim to fame was jump balls in the end zone. He can't do that. Why is someone paying him $8 million a year?
Why are you paying him $8 million a year when you just signed Trey Burton?
And you have Adam Shaheen.
I think I saw a tweet the other day that said that they have like 9 tight ends on their roster. Like, clearly it's off season. So some of those guys
they're trying to be the Ravens?
Yeah, like I don't know what it is that they're trying to do. Like that was the only rationale that I had, that if you are getting a quarterback, you're bringing in a guy and you're going to, and it was the same rationale I had with Jason Witten. It was you're bringing in your quarterback to minimize the amount of downfield throws that they have. You're going to run the ball. You have 3 tight ends that you're going to interchange, and you're going to kind of just speed up the game. You're going to, run it into the ground, play hard defense, and hope that things work for you. It's the same thing with the Raiders. They have Darren Waller. They have Foster Moreau. What was the point of signing Jason Witten unless he was going to be a player coach? What is he going to do there? Like it doesn't make any sense unless maybe they decide they're not going with Derek Carr and they want Marcus Mariota to be their version of Lamar Jackson. Hey, you never know. But I'm baffling. It
is a copycat league, but there's no more Lamars. There's no Lamars out there. There's only one, and everyone trying to do the same exact thing, they're gonna fail. Just like everyone tried to copy the Rams. You only have a small window, and trying to copy someone, I don't think is the answer.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of stuff still to happen. There's players like, Jadeveon Clowney. Where do you guys think a player like Jadeveon Clowney is going to go?
He fits with the Cardinals.
They need some edge help.
On the edge.
They could always move Hassan Reddick to the edge where he's supposed to play, but if they don't want to do that and they want to keep messing around.
Maybe Bill O'Brien wants him. He fits a lot of places.
Yeah.
He was scheme versatile in Tennessee with the Texans. He played some of that end spot in the 3-4, the outside linebacker. So he'll be okay. He's a wild card, though. I think he's just going to take some money. Whoever pays him the most money, he might just say, hey, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I see him on the Raiders for some reason.
Yeah, I could see that, too.
Hey, I think they just picked up Carl Nassib, and they have Clelin Ferrell.
Who cares?
But I think Carl Nassib is a little bit scheme versatile, too. I don't know if they're going to be 4-3 or 3-4 out there, but, I mean, Carl Nassib could, in theory, play your 5, I think, and then Clowney come off the edge. I don't know.
But in those sub packages, it's all different.
Yeah.
You'd probably bump Cleveland Farrell inside.
Right.
And you'd have a nice pass rush.
Right. Have that like NASCAR type package, a bunch of pass rushers in. I could see that happening.
How about you see them on the Giants?
Yeah, they're in big need of edge help, and I don't
everything.
At least they got that running back, right, Dante?
They do need everything. Hey, that guy Saquon is the truth.
Save a fantasy season.
The truth. I never lost a fantasy title with Saquon Barkley on my team. We shall see. But hey, I think that's a good start. I think we'll come back, review a little bit more I mean, this is going to be a long off season. There's going to be a lot more moves that are going to come down the pike and kind of adjust where these teams are going to want to select players in the draft. It's kind of the reason that we didn't really do a mock draft leading up until then. They're always fun, but you're basically crumpling it up and throwing it into the garbage.
It's clickbait.
Yeah.
It's that sports website clickbait.
Yeah.
Hey, look at my new mock draft version 12.0.
Before free agency, and none of this stuff is going to really fit anymore. So, I mean, unless you had Joe Burrow 1 and Chase Young 2, basically, I would say 60% of the picks after that are shuffled in some order now. So we'll get to a mock draft here soon. We'll go ahead and take a look at some additional free agent signings and additional trades, and we'll be back for more content. Until that time, this is Dante,
Tony,
Mark,
Kyle,
and we're out.